Good morning. Anybody? So the Meus kit comes with some servo behind SBA, SOA mounts, obviously the steering links you need. Looks like I've got some extra portal gears in here. I've never bought this set. Like I said, I've only got nylons from Meus, and there's a pretty decent little spare parts bag there, shims. 2 servo horns, if you can make that out through the bag, so sitting pretty good. All right, so this part's probably not going to be exciting. Rod ends and rods. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it at a minimum. We'll probably skip through some of this. Right out of the gate, these don't look great, but we'll see what they do. There's some shite going on here, like flashing right on the hole. I don't know what it's going to take to get these started. I have a decent amount of the rod ends in the bin, so we might be doing something different. Okay, anybody, I don't know how this is going to work, but just a quick little pause in the middle of the links. This is the lower link, and I was talking about sleeving it with like a poly Delrin kind of like tubing. They're kind of thin, and there's a large step at the rod end, so this would just be a wear part and potentially smooth out that step if anything's trying to catch on it. It won't be such a large step, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know what it's going to be like to thread the other end on once this is here with my shock pliers. So you can see there what I mean by transitions a little bit smoother, not so much of a step. See if we can put another end on here. Not too bad. See how it does. All right, so there's rear links in, just nutted up and axle on. So the link riser is, what I can tell, intended for an actual stock Capra, so it's not going to work on the Meus. And there's sits up pretty high anyway, so that's that piece. Put the front links together and see what kind of wheelbase we end up with. Got a straight versus bent. So I think what's going on here is I'm going to have to use one bent and one straight for each front link. All right, so we're mocked up here. Trying to get myself situated. I'm gonna have to figure out what battery mount I want on the front axle, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. It's just designed for this to sit there, so there's a little bit of a recess for this boss to nest into. So I'm gonna have to figure out something for a spacer underneath this battery servo plate here, but that should keep the weight pretty centered. The sleeves are on the bottom links, so we'll see how those work. Hopefully that helps it slide, being kind of like the Delrin here. And it's just mocked. Let me get a nut on that real quick before it falls apart. But when I put the links all together, it's a little bit longer than what I was hoping for. Not a major issue, but we'll just have to see when the body gets here if this nut will cooperate with me. See when the body gets here how it lines up. I did not like right here, this rod end kind of bottoms out in this notch. You can kind of see a notch in here on the side of the axle housing for that to sit in. So I had to bend these two top links and get a bend into them, and that actually let it sit down lower, because it was just stopping like here and it wouldn't settle in anymore. So I gained quite a bit with a pretty slight bend on that upper link, and with it like fully drooped, it's the skid is like just off the floor, so that's pretty cool. I am gonna have to get rid of this, but if I put a straight brace there, it's gonna hold the back end up some. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna put shocks together and start getting those in, and yeah, I'll pick up again at the next point. All right, front end's mocked, shocks are on. I don't think I like the angle of this battery tray, and the pinion is a little bit high, so I may drop a hole here on the upper links, get it to roll back a little bit. But other than that, front end is all pinned together. Got the spacers underneath this plate, seems okay. So yeah, that's that. I'll tell you, that front end's got some weight, but cool. All right, guys, some things happen here. Got it all together. Back end shocks, these ones aren't filled and ready like the fronts, but the wheelbase wasn't anywhere near what I was expecting. So I'm redoing link setups, hoping that I can get it down to something decent, 320, something like that. We'll see what happens, but gonna have to redo the tops. I've got some spares around, so I was able to get a new lower end on this side, and it's quite a bit better. So I'll start working on the other side, see if I can get into somewhere, and I'll catch you up when that happens. Right, well, here's where we made it. It's a roller. On the back end, I had these links, and there was enough adjustment in the holes on the chassis that I was able to just move the upper ones forward. The wheelbase is maybe, I'm gonna say 4 millimeters longer than what I wanted, so we'll wait and see what happens when the body gets here. I don't think it's too far out, so hopefully it won't be too long. I can just make another segment of the video tomorrow maybe, and yeah, we'll go from there. But I tried the other servo and battery bracket up here just to see what it was like. Again, body may dictate what happens. I put that Nod 2 in just to mock it up. I still got the plate for it if I need to use the plate to fit it, but yeah, we'll see. I put those -5 ends on the shocks just to try to keep it settled down, and it's full droop in the front. Well, not full droop, but I guess intermediate on the lower side. Big spring swapped with the small spring, and then the back ones are like how they come out of the package. Drop some oil in, bled them. They seem to be pretty good. But yeah, it's a little wide for 425s, so I'm probably gonna do a little research on some different hex hubs to put in there. See if I can make it a little narrower. I don't want it a bunch narrower, but yeah, we'll see. And then the body, once we get it on here, it'll be a whole nother story. You know how wide it is. I want to say it's close to 8 inches. So it might be right even with the tires. If they're tucked in a little bit, it would be nice. So these hex adapters aren't super wide, so I don't know if I'm going to get anything thinner, but I might be able to get it a little bit narrower. We'll see. A lot of beadlock screws put in, but yeah, it's a roller.